This video is suited for everyone, even total beginners, as we're covering the basics of animations in SwiftUI. Hey, I'm Flo, I'm an indie iOS developer, and you should subscribe to this channel because I will teach you how to make your own apps. So let's get started with this very basic example. Right now we only have a text of hello world, and we want to animate the size of that text, so it will get bigger and smaller again. If you want to create animations in SwiftUI, there's always a couple of steps that you need to follow. So as everything in SwiftUI, it's a function of state. Even the animation is a function of state. So you don't say animate this text. You change a value, you change some state, and based on this change, an animation will play. So let me walk you through how this works. So first of all, of course, we need our state on which the animation depends on. So we will start by creating a state variable, and you can just call this isAnimating and set this to false at the beginning. It's very relevant that this is false at the beginning, otherwise our code later on won't make sense if you read through it. So this is the first piece to the puzzle. Second piece is defining what you want to animate. So in our case, we want to animate the scale of a text, and in SwiftUI you can do that using the scale effect. But you can use this exact approach to do anything you want. So you could, for example, change the foreground color of this text as well, or move it around on the screen. Everything works with this very same principle. So we're going to say if we are animating, then we will have a scale of 2. If we're not animating, we will have a scale of 1. So this is the shorthand syntax for an if-else statement in Swift. And this is what we usually use inside of a view modifier if you want to have an animation in there. So if we are animating, the text should be twice its original size. If we aren't animating, so in the beginning, right now in the preview, it should be the scale factor 1, so not changed at all. Next, we will add the animation view modifier. And there are different overloads, and this one is deprecated, so we're going to use the animation and value modifier. And let's actually start with the value. So this is the state on which the animation should depend. So this has to be equatable, so even your own structs, for example, you can make them equatable, and then you can use them for your animations as well. So in this case here, we will just add our isAnimating state variable from up here, as a boolean, of course, is equatable. And then what's this animation optional here? This is the type of animation that we want to use. So basically the animation curve. So if you've ever heard about animation curves, then this is basically what you're going to implement here, but you don't actually have to implement a mathematical function for them. There are several animation curves already baked into SwiftUI. The easiest one, of course, is linear. So the speed of the animation basically stays the same, it's linear. Other options are, for example, ease in out, and a relatively new option is bouncy. So we will get started with linear, and we'll work our way through these animation types, as this right here won't be too interesting yet. So let's embed this text in a VStack so we can better highlight the next step, which is actually starting the animation. So, you know, we have this state, but right now it's set to false. So we somehow have to set this to true. And the first option, if you want to automatically play your animation, you're supposed, or you can use the onAppear view modifier. And in here, you could say isAnimating is true. And now if we write this piece of code, then you can see it, the animation already plays. In some places, you might need a wrapper around this with an withAnimation clause. So sometimes this is needed, but in our case, it's not. We'll just leave it here so you know for your own reference in the future. But what you just noticed, if we restart the preview quickly, that the text starts small and animates to be big once, and then it stays there. And in some cases, this is exactly what you want. But in those cases, I would actually not use the onAppear view modifier. I would just create a button called animate, and then in here I would set isAnimating to true. And then if we run this in the preview, we can now press the button, and then the animation will also play. So this is exactly what we want. Of course, now we can't press the button anymore. So instead of setting it to true, we could of course also just use the toggle function here. And now we can start and stop the animation or reverse the animation. And of course, you can see it goes both ways. So this is another big upside to this data-driven approach. So we've now been able to animate something once, but this is rather quick, and in some cases we might want to slow down the animation. So in this case, the linear type here has a duration parameter, and we can set this to, for example, 5, and this is a time interval in seconds. So once we press here, it will take 5 seconds for this animation, which is in reality just an interpolation of the scale from 1 to 2. Okay, so as you can see, it also works the other way around. Now our animation takes 5 seconds. And lastly, one more thing I want to show you is that there is, of course, the option to repeat the animation forever. So we would have this pulsating effect. So what you can do is use the repeat forever animation here, and this you can just chain these as you would view modifiers. So you could add a delay here, for example, or change the speed as well. So we're doing a linear animation that takes 5 seconds, and we're going to repeat it forever. So once we start the animation, let's actually move that back to 1 second, as 5 is a bit slow for this example. So it will go big and small and big and small. So this animation will repeat forever. What does repeat mean? It interpolates between these two values up and down in a linear fashion. Instead of linear, we could, for example, also use bouncy. And then you would see there is this little speed up and slow down effect. If you want to learn about animating SF symbols, I have an entire video linked up there in the info card on that topic. And if you're interested in advanced animations like face animator, canvas, or timeline view, please leave a comment down below so I know that you want to see that video next.